Shut Up, I'm Talking with Matt Powers and Larry King Guy, the #1 rated podcast in Angola. And now your hosts, Matt Powers and Larry King Guy. Very good. Everybody sounds nice.
Are you going to talk over everybody the whole time?
Who are you talking to?
You.
Are you going to start with attitude right off the mat?
Just asking. I've been here 10 minutes. You're talking over all of us.
I barely spoke.
Mm-hmm.
Whiny little bitch.
See?
That's not speaking over. That's demeaning. There's a difference.
Free-flowing exchange of information. It's a democratic process.
Isn't that over already?
No, not yet. Just started.
Fuck.
Early voting here.
Are you going to play the intro and everything? Or sorry.
Straight at it. All right. I like it.
From a part of California, even the locals call it dump. In a murky, algae-ridden, above-ground swimming pool in his neighbor's backyard. Chris Faris. From the sour, sweaty groin of the South, wishing for the sweet release of death, or his youngest daughter's high school graduation, whichever comes first. At the Comedy Bunker South, Matt Powers. From beautiful rural Virginia, nestled between a military base and the ample bosom of Mother Nature, the whore. At the Comedy Bunker East Coast, Larry King Guy.
And welcome to the show.
He's having
Happy
a
to
good
be here.
time with those little sound bites. It's almost like we don't have to even be here.
You forgot to mention I'm naked in my neighbor's above-ground algae-ridden pool.
I wanted to leave something to the imagination.
How do they clean an above-ground pool?
Rain?
I have no idea. It's not a doughboy. It's actually an in-ground pool that cost me a lot of money. But thank you. I appreciate the confidence. It's great.
I knew that would bother him.
And you know what's fucked up about it? We move in this house. Kids are, 6 and 7, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And we spent all kinds of money on going to a club because they love to swim. You know, they're kids. They love to swim. We're spending all this money at this tennis club and just so they can go fucking swim every day after school. We say, fuck it. We build this pool. Get it? And I shit you not, they never fucking swam in it again. Like one time and that's it. And it's been 8-9 years and they won't go in it.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Was it just not special anymore?
Well, they're just not old enough to appreciate the grotto aspect of it yet.
Where are all the naked bitches, Daddy?
I don't have an answer to that. I wish I knew, actually. I'm waiting for her to graduate high school and get into college, and then I can ask her that.
There you go. It's time for Daddy to get paid.
That's right. Do you actually have a pool butler? No, that's my sick-ass fucking dad.
You can tell by the leer and the drool.
God, that's disturbing, actually. Hi, Matt.
Yes, I'm here.
That's his greeting. Yes, I'm here.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, what?
Can you not hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, I heard that. I just didn't hear you for a second.
Oh.
You probably were just sipping your tea and letting me run my mouth.
What type of tea is this, Matt? I was guessing it was testosterone.
No, it's iced tea, asshole.
Is there any testosterone in that?
No, I got plenty.
Sweetened or unsweetened?
Unsweetened, sugar-free, just like me.
Oh, please. I guarantee that's mostly cane sugar he's drinking right now.
No, there is no cane sugar at all, period.
I have a kind of a pretty well cast iron stomach, but sweet tea is something that if I just take one sip of it, I will projectile vomit like nobody's business.
Do you not like it or adverse effect?
It's just too sweet. I'm not a big sugar fan, but no, I don't like it at all. Tea is something you should never add sugar to, in my opinion. It's perfect as it is.
I don't think I could choke down tea without some sort of a sweetener of some kind.
Well, what if you put vodka in it or rum?
Well, there you go.
No, rum is what caused my diabetes to begin with.
That's the truth.
I don't drink that shit anymore.
And who told you it was going to happen? Old Larry King guy.
No one.
I did.
I went and punched that Captain Morgan right in the face.
Matt would call me and he'd regale me with stories of going to yet another strip club and how he was just drinking fistfuls of rum and Coke. And I said, man, you're going to get diabetes. That shit's going to kill you. It's nothing but sugar. Well, how you know?
I used to be very fond of Captain Morgan spiced rum. And then
Oh my God. Oh,
it started getting out of control. So I figured I gotta cut back. I gotta change my ways. So I switched to Bacardi Lemon and Sprite.
oh, oh God. You know, I like my alcohol, but rum in general, ugh,
And
must
then
be a
you
southern
go
thing.
right up to the 7-Eleven, get a big gulp, a Sprite, put half a Bacardi Lime in it. You couldn't even taste it.
No Mountain Dew, Sprite. I mean, I figured you for a Mountain Dew guy, actually.
No. Dew is like antifreeze. I'm not drinking that.
As opposed to the rum.
Rum is good.
Right.
It's good for
Well, pick your poison. Well, you brought up strip clubs, and I don't know, was he joking? Did you go to a lot of strip clubs? I mean, it's not judging you. I'm just curious.
He had a direct deposit in the strip clubs.
Oh, please.
He would spend his last dollar.
Occasionally I would go there.
Oh,
every now-
please.
No, it wasn't like a
Every weekend.
Not every week.
So they treat you like a high roller at those places, kind of like the way that, you know, the casinos in Reno treat my mother. Like,
No.
you get comped rooms and
No, they
shows and things like that. As
they
long-
treated him like a guy in a raincoat in the corner.
Oh. Nice to see you, Mr.
I'm
Rubens.
so glad he was there to do all these things.
Oh, he was there with you? Oh, now the plot
No,
thickens.
he wouldn't go.
You were in Texas by then.
Yeah, well, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I'm not traveling 1,000 miles for a strip club.
I think I've been to a strip club one time in my life, and I went unwillingly. I just don't see what the attraction is. I really don't.
I can tell you.
Please do.
It's this. You can walk in and the women will get naked for $1.
Yeah, well, this is California, and I'm a good-looking guy, and I can make them pay me to get naked.
I don't believe that for a minute.
That's not true. Not anymore. Not anymore. So you go home, and you know you're all horny, and I mean, unless you got like a huge bag of Coke, they're not going home with you. So what's the point?
Matt has a story
First
about
off,
that.
you don't have to go home with them.
No, that's the whole point of a hooker or a prostitute or a stripper, right? You don't pay them for the sex; you pay to go home afterwards.
Yeah, well,
Now, Matt, you did date I
Yeah,
was
I
going to
did.
say prostitute.
she was not a prostitute.
You dated a stripper, though.
I did.
Now, when
Look
was this?
I don't know, right around 2000. It's a long time ago, 15, 20 years ago.
In fact, I still have emails that revolve around the story of the stripper.
Well, I would just like to say that 2000 was at least 15, 20 years ago, Matt. That's very astute reasoning right there.
Well, I'm doing the new math. I dated this girl for, a couple months. We parted ways. I think it was about maybe another 6 months or so after I had never seen or heard from her. And then one day she came to my place and knocked on the door. She's got like a 8-year-old kid with her. Right? He was like 7 or 8. And he's like, can you watch my kid this weekend? I got to go, wherever she was going to go.
Bang a stranger.
Yeah. And I'm like, no. And when did you have a kid? Because I had no idea she had a kid the whole time I was with her.
See, I thought that she was going to say this is yours, and I figured that her concept of time is about as good as yours.
Yeah.
So what was it like when you were actively dating this exotic dancer and you knew that she would leave? I assume you guys were living together. Is that a wrong assumption?
No, we weren't living together.
Oh, because you seem to me like a man who would relish living in sin. But what was it like knowing every night she would go to work and like guys would be disgusting, sick, trench coat wearing perverts, and like, she'd come home to you? I mean, that had to have like worn on your psyche, which is probably why you only dated her for 6 months, I guess. I don't know.
Quite honestly, I couldn't have cared less. I would go in there and get free drinks.
Well, you could date a bartender and it'd be the same thing, and she wouldn't be taking. Well, that's not necessarily true. I've dated bartenders too before, so that's not always the case.
Right. Because, I'm a big dude. I would go in there and they would feed me drinks just to help make sure nothing weird happened. Then I'd go get blown in the VIP room.
You sit down on the couch and it goes squish.
Yeah, really.
I'm not above it. I'm not saying like I'm I'm some kind of. I just never understood you pay a $15 cover or whatever to go in, and You still end up at home jerking off to Skinamax anyways. What's the point? Just cut the middleman out and save the money for beer.
Then you were doing it wrong.
I would never date a stripper. I couldn't do it. My ego, my pride, as limited as it is, would never allow me to do that. And neither would they, to be honest. But
well, that's beside the point.
Well, it is. You're right.
Yeah. Every stripper I knew, their entire diet consisted of 4 things, which is one of the reasons why I couldn't keep up. Red Bull, vodka.
Nice.
Cheese pizza from Little Caesars.
Wow, cheese. Okay. They couldn't digest the pepperoni?
Not unless they're in the VIP room.
Yeah, really.
And then, of course, the last one being massive amounts of Coke.
Well, that's a recipe for longevity.
Absolutely.
I have an email here from Matt. This is not about the stripper, but I think it's close enough.
Oh, my God. Okay.
All right. This is from February 14th, Valentine's Day, 1999, and it is a very romantic email.
See, I was right over 20 years ago.
Matt is always good with a subject line. He really gets to the point very well. The subject line here is, "Hey, faggot." And it goes as such. Hey, remember me telling you on the phone about that girl, Stacy? The one I pretty much assaulted on New Year's Eve. Well, we went out again this afternoon for lunch. Basically, we came back to her apartment and had nasty sex. I mean, on all fours, barking like a dog, come on her back kind of nasty. Sometimes it's not so bad being me. Then my cousin calls me about an hour ago and tells me she did it just to piss off her boyfriend. She called him right after I left. Do you know what my reaction was? Of course you do. Who the fuck cares? I just spent 3 hours draining my balls all over her face. I'm telling you, I must have lost 2 pounds. The only way I could feel any better right now is if she came over for round 2. Believe me, I am more than a little relaxed. Hopefully I'll get to see this guy soon so I can tell him with great delight what a fuck pig his girlfriend is. Seriously, my compliments. I haven't been fucked like that in a long time. I have to go now. I've got whore stink all over me. I'll be back on after a shower. Proving once again that I am Big Papa Pump.
Have you ever considered a moonlighting as a Harlequin romance novel writer? Because that's very, very, very... I'm sure women everywhere would love to read that.
I was just sitting there while I was reading that and thinking, boy, I am quite the wordsmith.
Yeah. Yes. That cocksmith, wordsmith, you're all kinds of smiths.
Oh, and just a side note, I did tell him later on.
Oh, did you?
Oh, absolutely.
And what was his reaction?
I thought he was going to cry. He was one of my cousin's friends, and he was a fucking asshole. My cousin ran with a lot of what I would call rich kids. The first thing they do is when you meet them, they tell you what their dad does, which makes no sense to me. He was constantly calling me by my brother's name. One time I just told him, I said, I guarantee you, if I break your fucking jaw, you'll remember my name.
Won't be able to say it.
But then he won't be able to say it.
Yeah, well, that's just a side benefit. So I didn't get along with the guy. So I started hitting on his girlfriend, and that happened. And I very delightfully told him with her sitting there. And then she got all, well, they both got all upset, but, you know.
For very different reasons.
Yeah. You know, he was intent on marrying her.
Oh, my.
I don't know if they ever did or not.
We can only hope.
Where were you living when this took place? Were you in Texas, or was this in Virginia, Maryland area?
No, this is here in Houston.
But no, that's interesting. I was just curious because like I've been to Maryland when I was much younger, and I think and Virginia, I've been both, and I think the women there like are not super attractive generally speaking, but in Texas, I think they probably really are actually.
Oh, they're not lookers like in Sacktown.
You know what? It's still California. The Beach Boys didn't write a song called fucking Houston Girls, did they?
No, that's very true.
I don't think they visited the butthole of California to write those songs.
You know, I'd love to have you out here because it's a nice place. It's a good place.
Hey, what's that big ski resort right outside of Sacramento on your way to Reno?
There's a bunch of them. There's Squaw Valley, which they can't call Squaw Valley anymore. They renamed it because that's insensitive to squaws.
I have been there. That's a nice place.
Squaw Valley?
Yeah.
They held I think it was this 1960 Winter Olympics there. It is a nice place. Very, very nice. Very, very fancy. Very nice place. But it's not Squaw Valley anymore. It's, I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, it was a nice place.
Yeah, it still is. They have a disc golf course up there because I like to play disc golf. And they have the base camp basically, and you take this tram all the way to the summit of the mountain. And it's 4,000 feet if it's an inch. You go all the way up there, and that's where all the ski runs are. They got a nice little resort up there now and all that. But I go up there with my buddy Brett, and we're just like, we were working in Tahoe, and we went back through there on the way home. Like, hey, let's go throw this disc golf course. At one point in time, it was the hardest one in the country. I'm like, oh, fuck. It was the most excruciating, awful day of my life. It was terrible. You're up in the super high altitude, like, 8,000 feet, and you're climbing up and down these mountains, and you're hungover. And
you're throwing Frisbees.
Well, they're discs, technically. Frisbee is a trademark term, so I think you probably don't want to get, Hasbro has lawyers, so you might want to reconsider your nomenclature.
You hear the disdain in his voice, and you're throwing Frisbees.
I don't blame him. Like, so
there's no judgment.
I used to think the same
asking.
thing. There's a disc golf course right off this main thoroughfare that I drive like almost every day for work. And I would sit there, and these fuckers would be out there 10 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and they're just hippies smoking weed and playing disc golf. And I would scream and yell at them out like, "Get a fucking job, you motherfucking hippies!" And all like every day I'd do the same thing, like clockwork. And finally, my buddy got me into it. I'm like, I don't want to do this. He's like, listen, it's throwing, statistics, and competition. You're gonna love it. I'm like, fine. And I loved it, and I still do.
How often do you play?
But I have a job. I used to play like 5-6 times a week, but my buddy Brian Bender moved to Folsom. I haven't played in a while. I played a little bit yesterday and today, but not very often anymore.
Is it something like you do 9 holes or is it just?
No, they have, you do. Yeah, some courses are 9 holes. It's like regular ball golf. I mean, you have either 9 holes or you have 18 holes, or, some courses have more than that.
Is it the same length as a golf course?
No, because you can hit a golf ball a lot farther than you can throw what's the word? A Frisbee.
And you actually throw them into a hole?
Disc for the layperson.
No, you throw the disc, Matt, to the hole. You don't throw the hole.
It's in the hole.
But you throw the disc into the hole. That's how you.
No, they have baskets. They're like steel chain baskets, and you throw them into. I think it's actually going to be an Olympic sport. I believe. In fact, I believe it is going to be the next Summer Olympics. It's an Olympic sport now.
That is lame.
It's a lot of fun, actually. It's a lot of fun. I mean,
I'm not saying it isn't, but it's lame to be in the Olympics. It's like the break dancing. You see the break dancing in the Olympics?
I saw this.
Although they got rid of softball out of the Olympics, I don't get that.
The next Olympics, they're going to have the Lindy. I'm going for that.
Well, what about the triple Lindy?
Oh, no, that's diving. I'm talking about the Lindy Hop.
Oh.
It's a very successful dance back in the 30s.
I can't ask my grandmother. Sorry.
I don't think any of us can.
Ask my grandmother? Probably not. Get a Ouija board.
That's satanic.
The Lindy Hop. I'm going to go look that up.
You can. Yeah, it's a real thing.
Yeah, I believe it. That's probably where the triple Lindy came from.
I think that came from Back to School, Rodney Dangerfield.
Well, I was just going to. Yeah, all right. You're right. Which was a good movie in its day.
It was.
I don't think it aged very well, but.
How many good movies did Rodney Dangerfield really have? I can only really remember 2. Caddyshack and that one, whatever I said.
Back to School, where he was the diver.
And Ladybug, of course.
Easy Money was really good.
Yeah, Easy Money with Joe Pesci. That was good.
I've never seen that one, actually.
Well.
Then what qualifies you to comment on the man's career if you really haven't even enjoyed the entire body of his work? You disparage the man's cinematic prowess without even having a full basket of knowledge of what he's done.
Well, if we're going to limit ourselves that way, we can't have an opinion about anything. All right, here's the full list here. The filmography.
Cinematography, I think, is probably better.
I'm going by Wikipedia. I'm sorry. See, I'm just going to count. I'll say Easy Money's good. He was a co-writer for that, by the way, and Back to School. Do you count Natural Born Killers?
He played Juliette Lewis's father, I believe, and he got whacked because he was molesting her, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, man, was that funny. Meet Wally Sparks.
Terrible.
Never heard of that one.
Going to count that one. Casper, A Spirited Beginning. Little Nicky.
That was the Adam Sandler movie.
I don't think you count that.
He was just kind of a co-star, kind of like, I think he had a small role.
Lucifer. Yeah, I think you can only count the ones where he's the star.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's right.
That's it, man. As far as being the star, I think you have Caddyshack, Back to School, Easy Money, and then Ladybugs. So that's it. So he really only had 4 movies. Did anybody see Ladybugs?
Yeah, I did. My youngest daughter was about the age where that was like in her wheelhouse. That's what she was watching back. I think it came out in 96, would be my guess.
92.
Oh, shit. Well, okay. Yeah, I did see it. It was a little girls soccer team.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was fine. It was fine.
I don't even know where I was in 92. Where was I?
You were in Manassas.
I was?
Yes. Was this a kid's movie or was this an adult movie that was kid friendly?
It was a kid's movie, basically.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, then the rules are different for that. Yeah.
It was a decent movie for him to, it's kind of like when Eddie Murphy transitioned to go doing the kids' movies as well, right? Because it's not something I'd rewatch, but it wasn't a bad movie at all. Well, not a bad movie at all.
And it was a perfect transition to go to a more kid-friendly, family-friendly fare as he followed it up with Natural Born Killers.
And that one, that came out in 94, and I do remember when my daughter was 2, I made sure that was the first thing she saw. She's like, I want to see Lion King. I said, no, watch this first. So
now that was a Quentin Tarantino movie. I mean, the script.
Yes.
No.
But I believe
he directed it as well.
No, he didn't direct that.
He did not?
No. In fact, he refused to let his name be put on the credits. He disowned the whole thing. He didn't like it.
It's a good movie.
Oliver Stone.
That's right. You know what? I should have known that. I think I'm going to go chop my arm off. It's a good movie.
I saw it in the theater. I don't really remember it.
You know, it's a good movie to show kids. The Exorcist.
I watched that just the other day.
They get all freaked out.
What did he say?
The Exorcist.
I think that was the first movie where they used the press to promote the movie. Because if I recall reading about it, they would put a bunch of stuff out, stories about people throwing up in the theaters because it was so disgusting and so gross to kind of just get the hype going. And do either of you remember anything like that? Or am I just...
No, but I have been to that staircase in Georgetown with they threw the priest down the stairs outside in the alley.
Yeah, that's now a historical landmark now.
Yeah, it's a very narrow staircase.
Concrete, ain't it?
Yeah, they're all stone steps or what,
It's from the 1800s.
Yeah,
that's a gruesome ass.
If nuns can fly, why can't priests?
Just not enough faith. Didn't
that
believe.
One did.
All right.
Well, he flew out the window. He just landed pretty badly.
Yeah.
Speaking of the flying nun, that her grandson is the quarterback for the Steelers. Justin, wait a minute, that's not right. She's white. Never mind.
Oh,
I know, right? Where's the rim shot?
You know what? I have to get one of those. We don't have a rim shot.
You could wear it out. Listen to my bullshit. So you got on the topic of it. So, do you guys like scary movies? I don't know. What are the scariest movies you guys have seen? Because I have one that definitely was the scariest movie I've ever seen, without question. And I bet neither one of you will have it on your list.
Horror movies in general, to me, are kind of stupid. But the very first R-rated movie I ever saw as a kid was the Amityville Horror. I had to watch it because I read the paperback book of it, 3 times in a row, and it scared the shit out of me. I was about 11 or 12.
A lot of
79. Yeah, it'd have been 12. And then, of course, The Exorcist is rather disturbing.
I remember as a kid, and I'm real little, maybe 4. And I guess it was playing on television. They were just advertising it a lot. It was a commercial for Rosemary's Baby. And all it was a stroller. And the camera would just slowly close in on the stroller. And all you heard was the sound of a baby crying. And then it gets right up to the stroller and goes inside, and you just see the demon eyes. So it wasn't actually the movie. It was just a commercial for that.
No. Well,
Did you ever see the full movie?
Eventually. I was an adult by then. I think it was fine. I don't think it was exceptionally good. Not that I remember.
It's Mia Farrow, right?
Yes. But the one thing, I wouldn't say it's a scary movie. I like it very much. I've seen it many, many times. But there's one part of it that I think is scary and gross at the same time. Maybe the scariest and grossest at the same time. And it's those twins in The Shining. Those 2 hideous monsters. And that's before the blood.
see, and I think that movie's stupid. It makes no sense.
What doesn't make sense about it?
The whole thing.
I read the book. It's one of my favorites. It's such a good book.
Well, you're talking the book.
Very good book.
So what about the movie did you find silly or whatever you said?
Just let's see.
What did you not understand?
It's just a dumb movie. It makes no sense. The guy's going nuts in the house, and nobody can pick up a phone.
Well, they explained that real easily, actually. They had no telephone there. They had to correspond by CB radio, and the radio was out due to the storm. I mean, that was like one of the first expositions in the movie.
They're so stuck, yet the black dude can get all the way up there in a fucking blizzard, and he can get up there. So what's the problem?
Okay, so he used a snowcat, which is how you would travel in blizzard conditions like that. They had a snowcat there, but Jack Nicholson's character disabled it, so they weren't able to use it. Now, they had a telephone, but the telephones would go out because there was a huge distance between the hotel and the closest town. So
why didn't the wife and the kid get in the snowcat with the black dude and leave?
Well, the black guy was killed at the end, so they got in by themselves and they escaped. They survived.
Well, whatever. This is fucking stupid.
And that was Scatman Crothers, was it not?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm finally doing something smart. The scariest movie that I've seen, besides like when I was a kid and I saw Jaws, and we just got a swimming pool, and I was like scared shitless to jump in the swimming pool because I thought for sure a shark was going to, which is ludicrous, but you never know.
Sure.
But the scariest movie I've ever seen, and I doubt either one of you have seen this, but it was a movie called The Prince of Darkness. And it was a John Carpenter movie back in the mid-'80s. I think it was in Maryland. Alice Cooper was in it.
I've seen that with Alice Cooper. Yeah.
Yeah.
The poster looks familiar.
What was that? Simon and Simon. He was on Simon and Simon at the time. Very famous actor. But the premise was they had trapped this demon in this goo in this church for hundreds of years. And somehow he was starting to get out. And it wasn't gory, but it was frightening to me because the idea was these people were having these terrible dreams, like these crazy dreams of apocalypse, of demons and all this shit. And they couldn't figure it out, but they were all having the same dreams, like this whole group of people that got stuck in this church. And what it ended up coming back to was in the future, once this demon had gotten out of its goo cage, they were finding a way to broadcast back in time on people's dream waves. I don't know why, but for some reason to me that is still stuck in my brain as just fucking weird and freaky and scary.
Wasn't Alice Cooper like a homeless guy in that movie?
Street Schizo, that's his character's name.
Yeah, he did is like a zombie basically, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I do remember the poster. I never saw it, though.
To me, that's probably the most scariest movie I've seen because I don't know. Like I get way over my head about that kind of stuff, and I think that it's not reality, obviously, but I mean, who's to say the dreams you have aren't something weird like that?
Windows into the other world.
Well, the human brain is a very fascinating thing, and it's I mean, when you have a dream about like an ex-girlfriend or a long-lost friend or something like that, I mean, does it ever occur to you that maybe they're thinking of you having the same dream at the same time? I'm a very philosophical sort.
That has never occurred to me.
And a drunkard, so.
That's where the philosophy comes from.
Yeah, probably.
The budget for that movie, Prince of Darkness, $3 million, made 14.2. That's a pretty profitable movie right there.
Yeah, that was a John Carpenter flick, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it was. He followed it up with, I think, is a great movie. It's not a great movie, but I liked it a lot. They Live with Roddy Piper.
Yep. Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
Roddy Piper.
Yeah. Who did very well.
That's a great movie.
Go ahead.
No, Matt, go ahead.
No, Matt is eating. I can hear it.
I'm not eating.
What are you? I can hear your lips smacking.
No, that's not what that is.
What is it then? The dog?
It's jacking off.
No, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Still thinking about that stripper.
Oh, he's just listening to you and I talk about movies.
What it could have been.
Hey, didn't I send you a naked picture of her?
I'd save everything. I've not been able to find said picture.
I think I did because I took a picture of her when she was getting out of the shower, and then I sent it to you.
I think you just admitted to a crime.
I think I think you should, you know what, leave that in actually, because that's how you get the infamy part of the show. And you know what? That's a dick move. I'm just going to throw it out there. That's a dick move.
Why? She knew I was going to do it.
Why? I said surprise right after.
She knew you were going to send it to all your friends?
Huh?
She knew you were going to send it to your friend? Your one friend?
Yeah, she knew I was going to do it. She was there when I did it.
Then why didn't she just take it for herself and send it to him? Or, hey, why don't you bring LKG over and I'll get naked for him? I'll walk out of the shower and you can see me.
She was all coked
because he was in Virginia.
That I would have driven 1,000 miles for.
The whole thing was completely consensual. There you go.
She's probably dead anyway, so it doesn't make any difference.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Well, her lawyer, her estate might still be around.
I certainly hope not.
Her estate is a single Red Bull.
I'm sure she had a very high-powered lawyer. But no, They Live is that's another great one. It goes under the radar because it's not super scary, but it's like mental, I don't want to say mental floss or mental candy, but it's the whole thing, the glasses and it's just, I like those movies much more than I like, hey, let's see somebody get stabbed 1,000 times. God knows I've seen that enough in my own life that I don't need to see it on the screen.
That moment when he puts on the glasses and sees reality for the first time, you're going to remember that. That's not going away.
Yes. And I think that's a metaphor for where we're at in society. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally joking. I'm surprised Matt's favorite horror movie wasn't The Human Centipede, actually.
That movie's disgusting.
No, that's his favorite porn.
That's gross. That movie is not. It's just gross, and it's stupid. I didn't even watch the whole thing.
What I loved about it is the Human Centipede 2, 3, 4, 5. Like there's another angle.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of it.
Oh, I wonder what happens in this one.
And we stitch him up ass to ass.
Now that's just sexy. Makes me think of Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah, don't get me started on that. It was not Jennifer Garner. It was
no, not quite.
Oh no, the hot. She was freaking.
I don't know what that
gorgeous.
movie is.
Oh, you'd love it, man.
Sad. It's really sad, but the end of it is pretty exciting to a sick, perverted person like myself. It's God, what's her name? I can picture her.
It's Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly. Yeah, thank you. She's hot.
She's pretty. Yeah.
Thank you. Let's go out with something really hot for these folks. A big hit out of 77. Star Wars. Nothing but Star Wars. Give me the star.
I was 10 when that came out.
God damn.
And that was the one and only time my entire family went to the movies. Because my father didn't want to go because, the lines were all the way around the building for this thing.
Right.
And he was not about to wait in line for,
nonsense.
Yeah. So I remember very distinctly me, my brother, and my father went to see Star Wars because I really wanted to see it. And then my mother and my sister went to see Oh God, the John Denver movie.
George Burns.
Yes.
George Burns.
And I was 10. My brother was, 4? He was 6. And I remember thinking it was the greatest thing I had ever seen. It was amazing. I loved it. And we came out, and I asked my father, I said, we're sitting there gushing over it, me and my brother. And I asked him, I said, did you like it? And my dad goes, that was fucking stupid.
But
I'll never forget that answer. Did your father like going to the movies?
The only movie I ever remember my father going to was Die Hard. And that was, we were visiting my grandmother in Florida, and I think he just wanted to get out of the house.
I remember after I watched the Star Wars, a couple of months later, Darth Vader was making an appearance at the local shopping mall. Him and two Jawas. And I was in the line to meet Darth Vader, and I was actually nervous because I thought he was going to do that force choking thing on me. I have an 8x10 black and white photo autographed by Darth Vader because the guy came out and they sat at the big table and you got your picture taken with him.
And he signed it Darth Vader? Yeah. It's literally worthless.
Literally, it's worthless to everybody else. I thought it was. I think it's cool. I still have it.
How fucked up must that be? This guy's like, he's probably, like a Shakespearean actor that just can't get any work. And he gets, hey, you go out and dress up in this fucking Darth Vader costume and sign these photographs for these kids. And he wants to sign his own name the whole time, Steve McDickhead. And he's got to sign Darth Vader all day long.
I'm guessing they were all carnies. Get some drug money.
I will say that Darth Vader is probably one of the biggest movie villains ever when he first came out. First two. They took that guy and made him into a whining crybaby.
You mean in the subsequent prequel?
From Return of the Jedi all the way up to the shit they're making now, they turned him into a whining crybaby. Well, he was actually scary in the first and second movie.
But you're talking about Anakin, right?
Yeah, he becomes Darth Vader, right?
You're talking about the character
he said
Anakin
Skywalker. He said they turned him into that.
But the whiny one is Anakin Skywalker, not Darth Vader.
No, he's a whining bitch just because he didn't put his helmet on. You're not scared of him anymore, and you're like, this guy needs to be slapped. He's not worth punching. You got to slap him.
Well, let me tell you this. How about I saw your mom into slavery?
They ruined the whole thing.
And
the most passion Matt's had in months.
Ship you off to a galaxy far, far away, and you never see your mom, and you get to marry this hot chick, and that wouldn't make you angry?
She is very pretty, but she's got no tits. That would make me upset too.
I'm not going there. I don't disagree with Matt. But what's funny about Return of the Jedi is if they were filming here in Northern California, up in Humboldt or Eureka, where there's a lot of forests, where they did a whole Moon of Endor shit, they would put clippings in the paper all the time about, reports from the show. This, before the internet, but they still had sleuths up there. What are they doing? What's going on? But the one thing I remember them talking about was they set up what seems to be an enormous vacuum machine. I don't even know what part of the movie that was, but they're talking about this huge vacuum machine that sucks everything up around it. And it's like, that sounds like a Hoover commercial to me. I don't know that I want to see this movie.
Sounds like the vacuum jack. Hey.
Blower operate.
Well,
activate.
I agree with my father. It's fucking stupid.
And we come full circle.
Yeah.
No, you call him. I'm just curious. You call him your father. I say my dad is my dad, and that's fine. I'm not. But I mean, did he make you call him father or fodder or father or
no? I think it was sir.
Who?
Or is that just respectful? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm curious. I'm not trying to mock you. Yeah.
I don't know what are you talking about?
What did you call your father growing up? Did you say?
I called him Pop.
Okay. Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's because he hit Matt so many times.
Acceptable because I call Pepsi Pop. What's the difference between dad and pop?
3 letters.
You know what? I guess it's probably just where you grew up versus where I grew up. I guess that's probably it.
We call what you would call pop, we call soda. So we wouldn't have that conflict.
Well, I feel ashamed. Very ashamed. I feel like I made Matt sad.
No, you can tell he's happy because he's eating.
I am not eating, fuckhead.
Bullshit,
nothing.
You're eating cereal.
No, I'm not. I don't have cereal.
Then what are you eating?
I'm not eating anything.
I can hear you eating.
You hear nothing.
Chomp, 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 chomp. You know it records all the sounds, right?
You're full of shit.
You're constantly eating. I hear you. I go back and listen to old episodes, and I hear you eating constantly.
Fuck you. That's not what I'm doing.
What are you doing then?
I'm not sitting there trying to get a word in edgewise.
Please.
Dick.
Not fooling anybody. Go ahead, Chris.
Is it Muslix? Is it Muslix?
Now that he's using the phone to record, he's going to be on the toilet. He's going to be doing dishes. He's going to be doing anything.
Yeah. Something productive.
Now, what I do remember when VCRs first came out in the very early 80s, we would rent VCRs. Did you guys ever go rent VCRs and rent the movies before you could afford a real VCR?
I used to sell them.
Yeah. That was when you worked at 7-Eleven, right? Made quite a
They
living
sold
on that.
VCRs at 7-Elevens?
Yeah, they used to rent them, or unless Matt was there, in which case they sold them on the cheap.
I don't know what happened.
I call it having an entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah, okay. The kind of spirit that lands you in jail.
Yeah, I worked at a 7-Eleven. They had this thing where they were going to rent movies and VCRs.
Right.
And they gave us all these brand new VCRs that came in like a padded backpack thing. You'd rent them out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That was back when if you wanted to buy a VCR, it was like $500-$600. I had no shortage of customers at $400 a piece.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I sold every fucking one of them. Somebody would check it out and bring it in or bring it back, and then I would just never update the file and then just take the machine and go sell it. I sold all the movies too, $10 a piece.
How many of those people that you said didn't return? How many of those people do you think are in debtor's prison to this day?
They probably did the same thing.
Well, I'm not saying this right or wrong.
Nobody cared about that shit.
But when you used to rent them, it was a big deal. We'd go rent the VCR and we'd get Blue Thunder or whatever. We'd rent the movies and we'd rent the VCR. And I'd want to stay up all night and I'd get like, oh, can I watch this? And oh, can I watch this? And at around 9:00 at night, my dad would come and take the VCR out of the front room. So you can go to bed and he'd go take it into the bedroom and hook it up to the TV in the bedroom.
Oh,
and then I started realizing that he was renting like Behind the Green Door with Marilyn Chambers and Debbie Does Dallas. Every night we rent a VCR. It's like, hey, kids stay up, have fun, watch the movie, have some pizza, have some popcorn, and 9-10 o'clock. No, it's going into mom and dad's room. Hang on. Hey, bud, I can't. How are you? I can't talk right now. I'm doing a podcast. Yeah. Sorry, Steve. I will. I'll send you the link too. Take care. Good to see you. Sorry, a friend of mine just stopped by.
Oh, and Chris, we have a message from our once and potentially future president just for you.
Chris, you're fired.
What did he say? Chris, you're a bitch?
Chris, you're fired.
Could you have not played that before I told Steve to go away? God damn it. I see this guy once a year. He went out of his way to come see me, and I said, you could have just played that before. And then I said, hey, Steve, listen to me tell these fuckers to go help fuck themselves and die in a fucking fire. God damn it.
Who is Steve?
He's a friend of mine. Why do you need to know?
Is he a neighbor?
He's not gay. No, he's a friend.
Yet somebody who actually drove over?
I actually have friends that actually will come visit me, and I know that might be foreign to you.
Well, if he were a friend, he would have called first.
I tend to agree with that, but maybe he did call, and I've been on the phone dealing with you this whole time, and maybe he did try to call, and I'd ignored it. But he was driving by, and he saw that the garage door was open, and he wanted to come be.
Oh, so he didn't take a special trip, just driving by.
I kind of want to talk about movies. I kind of want to, geek out some more. We talk about. So, what kind of popcorn do you like? Do you put any toppings on your popcorn?
You're fired.
You can't get that in Don's voice?
You never said actually you're fired.
No.
Oh, now, Chris, you were texting me I guess it was a week or two ago, and you had an experience for the first time, and I was wondering if you could tell us about this.
Remind me, because I text you when I'm drunk. That's the only reason I can tolerate you.
You used for the very first time a bidet.
Oh, the bidet?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I have a question first.
So, go ahead.
When you used this for the first time, did you use it as a water fountain?
No.
Okay. You really do need a rim shot.
Okay, go ahead.
Fucking idiots.
No, so okay, how far? Okay, LKG. You remember when you listened? You were an avid listener, John Mike. Do you remember when Mike O'Mara had a anal fissure and a leaky anus?
Oh yeah, diverticulitis.
Yeah, and he was talking about, he had to enable to clean up. They were talking about actually putting like a rag on a wand because he was a fat fuck. Put a rag on a wand so he could clean himself. He's that's fine. Maybe he's not a fat fuck. He's just he's a fat gentleman.
There's a guy, Bubba the Love Sponge. You ever heard of this guy?
Yeah, he's the guy that had the issue with Hulk Hogan.
Yes. When he was really fat, I think he got to like 400 or 500 pounds. He would use a towel to wipe his ass.
Ugh.
And he
was 12 feet tall though, right?
Used it like a rope and then would just throw the towel away. But go ahead, yeah.
So
let me ask a question.
Go ahead, Matt. No, Matt.
What's worse, him doing that or him telling people that?
He's a shock jock. Of course he's going to tell people.
Gross.
I would tell people. I tell at breakfast.
The story I'm going to tell is it's just to make people chuckle, hopefully, or at least have complete antipathy for me.
All right, go ahead.
You know why? Because I have no shame and I don't give a fuck. I'm going to die soon, and this will be what my kids will somehow, at some point in time, dig up, like the Atari ET cartridges.
An audio heirloom.
Yeah. So I have had, and I'm not a big fat guy, but I've had issues in the past, and I would use washcloths to make sure that I was clean, right? Because paper just doesn't get it done.
It doesn't. It just smears it.
It just doesn't get it done.
Right.
And I would use like washcloths. I don't give a fuck. You wash, it's like baby's diapers. You wash them, you put it in the washer, and the shit washes away, and you're done with it. You put a little bleach in there, and it's done.
Right.
But my wife would get really angry because I would basically shit all over these washcloths. and she's like, I bought these at Macy's. I'm like, all right, okay, well, what are they for if they're not for washing yourself?
Your face.
I think that was the issue, is after it had poop on it, had fecal matter on it, you don't want to wash your face with it. I said, well, get a fucking loofah, because I'm not going to use a loofah on my anus. Progress to this. So she asked, so we don't have like a real bidet, but they have these things, these adaptable kits, right? Where you plumb them into your plumbing, you sit them underneath the seat, and it's basically a bidet. You push a button and this little water jet comes out and it shoots water into your butthole, whatever,
I've used
and
one
she had
before.
this thing. Well, why don't you tell the story?
Go ahead.
So I'd never used it. I installed it. She had it for years, and she's like, please install it. I'm like, no, fuck that. That's gross. No, fuck that. No. Well, you don't have to use it. Just install it. I'm like, well, what if I shit all over this thing? You want my shit flying up from the spout? That's not how it works. It's hidden behind there. I said, well, sometimes I have diarrhea and it goes back over there, and no, I mean, this is a human condition. We can all talk about it honestly. Who hasn't had backwards facing diarrhea?
But you don't have to use it, right?
No, you don't have to use it. Yeah. But for the sake of the first time I used it, I had particularly messy shit. I had actually eaten food the night before. It was very spicy. Oh, shit, did I say that again? God damn it. Fuck. Sorry, Matt. I'm sorry.
Let me get my Vietnamese nephew back in here.
Well, that's not.
He's not a.
What you mean? No, it's not. Not at all. No, that's different. I think I lost my train of thought. Just still thinking about the airlift out of Saigon. So I used it the very first time, and it was first off they have some of them. I guess you can put a heater on so the water's warm and that. I don't know. I mean, this is what I've read, or it was weird. Like I've had chicks like spit in my butthole before.
Nice.
But I've never had like a jet of water in. And you know what? I don't know if it's got some like laser targeting on it because it hit the spot perfectly well. So I don't know. Maybe it's like some holdover from the Iraq War. I don't know. But it was very interesting. It was very cold. And I did, in fact, afterwards, I wanted to see, well, okay, is this better than paper? So I got a mirror and I swatted, and my anus was quite clean, actually.
Why did you need to look at your butthole to know whether it was clean or not? You could have just used toilet paper.
No. Because toilet paper will tell you it's clean, and then an hour or two later you're itching like you know, and so you go back.
That would let you know as well.
Well, yeah, but I didn't want to have that issue. I was going to a very fancy event.
Just be honest. You wanted to take a look at your butthole.
I was going to a debutante ball, so I didn't want to be checking my rectum in the middle of my presentation.
I hope when you use this bidet, your pinky was out.
It was actually in, but
so how did it work out?
It worked out perfectly. It was amazing. And and now the only problem is she won't allow me back in her bathroom anymore. But, so I'm going to install one in my bathroom, in the kids' bathroom.
Oh, okay. All right. Very good. Now, part of
you're
the
free
story.
to fly out here and try it yourself.
I would eat some food first, definitely.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Now, I couldn't help but notice when you were telling this story, you gave out a little detail that you have had women spit on your butthole before.
Did I say that out loud?
Yeah. What was the purpose behind the butthole spit?
Because, if you use Windex or bleach, it's going to really hurt.
It's going to burn.
So, a little spit, a little wipe, and you're good.
All right, fair enough.
And then they can, then they don't have to worry about washing their butt plugs afterwards. We're frugal around here. We can't have 2 butt plugs. We have to share them.
I hope that when that happened, she spit on your butthole like a lady.
Well, you're assuming it was a lady.
Or did dude look like a lady?
That was established. Oh my God. I was talking to my friend yesterday and we were talking, and she, you know what she says? She says, "Oh, was that song, Dude Looks Like a Woman?" I'm going, you're the same age as me. What the hell is wrong with you?
And that really flows from the tongue when you're singing.
Yeah,
Dude
right.
looks
Exactly.
Like a woman.
Dude looks like a woman. Thank you. Shout out to Carmichael Mary.
I think Robert Goulet would do it that way.
Oh, Jesus.
Dude looks like a woman. Goulet.
I would really like to hear Matt's opinion on my bunghole.
What do you think of that story, Matt?
I'm speechless. I don't know what to say.
First of all, so you're saying you've never used a towel to wipe your ass?
I have never used a towel. I have never used a bidet, and I've never had any of the problems that y'all have just listed.
What about a washcloth?
No, not a washcloth. What am I, a fucking animal?
A towel and a washcloth are 2 different things.
That's true. I mean, they're both.
Oh, not so fucking chirpy now, are you?
I, on the other hand, I use baby wipes. And here's the key. Don't make the rookie mistake. You don't start with toilet paper and go to the baby wipe. You start with the baby wipe, then you go to the toilet paper. Ding. Right there. That one was free. What do you do, Matt?
Obviously way too involved.
How do you clean your butthole, Matt?
What?
Your crack, your ass.
Yeah, with your mom's tongue.
She's long dead, dude. You're not doing that.
Well, that's why it's so rough.
Was that you who visited the crematorium?
Let's just let Matt talk. Matt, why don't you just, what do you think, LKG? Why don't you just let Matt just...
Well, I'm trying to engage him in conversation, but he refuses to answer the question.
What question?
How do you clean your butthole? How do you clean yourself after you take a big, wicked, greasy dump?
Hold on, I know the answer to this. It's the goat. It's a goat.
Yeah, it's a goat. No, I grabbed the dog.
I was going to say, finally, the dog has a purpose.
Yeah.
What's your dog's name?
Charmin.
Yeah, there you go.
You
don't use the baby wipes, Matt?
No, I don't need to.
So you have a perfect, even, double-tapered shit every time.
Yeah, I've never had a problem with that issue.
I don't believe that for a minute. At some point in your life, you've had a messy shit.
Not bad enough that I need baby wipes and handkerchiefs and all this other shit.
Handkerchiefs?
Whatever you're talking about.
You know what? Hey, LKG, it's cheaper to throw away your underwear than it is to buy.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Well, that too.
No,
Matt skips the underwear and goes straight to the shorts.
Yeah.
Wear a diaper like somebody. Anyways, that's not nice. Edit that out.
How do you wipe your ass? Well, it depends.
I have a question about homeless people. How is it that they're always crying, saying that they're starving and shit, yet they never have a problem finding cardboard and magic markers? If they put that little investigative thing towards getting a fucking sandwich, they wouldn't have these problems.
That's Matt's impression of Sam Kinison. That's the best he can do to go where the food is.
Move to where the food is.
No, I'm serious. I was driving home from the
Move to where
store.
the food is. Ow!
Oh, and Matt, you were asking why I can't use my nephew on the mic.
Yeah, why not?
It's YouTube rules.
Oh.
Can't you edit when he says I'm 12? Can't you just edit out, say I'm 17?
I don't know if I can edit out that high-pitched voice. I'll slow it down so it sounds like he's drunk.
Sounds like he's drunk. I'll let the kid be a kid. It was a nice conversation. No bullshit. He sounds like a very sweet, very smart, very, very smart kid.
He is. He's very fond of him.
I don't think he shares the same opinion of you, but he's sounds like a very smart.
He loves me. You kidding me?
I gave him plenty of opportunities to say that, and I heard you in the background saying, I'm
the best.
Yeah, I think you were probably poking him with a fucking corn fork.
Is there such a thing as a corn fork?
How do you eat corn on the cob?
That's an odd thing to have on hand right there.
Yeah, seriously. Do you mean the two-pronged thing you put at either side? Is that called a corn fork?
That's what I call it. I don't know about you. What do you call it? A corn spoon?
I don't know. I'm going to look that up. Corn fork. That's going to be my new nickname.
Your corn fork. Corn fork king guy.
I was talking old corn fork.
Hey, corn fork. What's the almanac say? The harvest this year.
We weren't allowed to use those when I was a kid because I would stab my brother with it.
Yeah, and I'm the Unabomber. All right.
Well, he stabbed me back with it.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but according to Amazon, they're calling them cob skewers.
Ew.
Well, I think that's just a fancy way of saying corn fork.
I didn't say you were wrong.
No, I mean cob skewer. Okay, all right.
Skewer.
I'll take the L.
That's my new favorite word, skewer.
Yeah.
Skewer, I hardly knew
cob skewer.
That's such a random thing.
And coming from the comedy bunker in Virginia, I'm cob skewer guy.
The new Shut Up, I'm Talking cob skewers.
Yeah.
You just rename it. Cob skewers. We're the three cob skewers.
I'm cob skewer. I'm cob skewer, and I'm cob skewer.
I'm
We're the
corn
cob
fork.
skewers. Yeah,
I'm
you're
the
corn
rebel.
fork.
Corn fork.
Shut Up, I'm Talking with Matt Powers and Larry King Guy. A presentation of the Comedy Bunker Podcast Network. Search online and on social media at Larry King Guy for more fun.